You're looking at a big story on a big Scottish newspaper's front page today, the Daily Record.
That's right. The three leaders of the main parties at Westminster have signed a pledge that you can see on the front page of the Daily Record, so a Scottish tabloid. And in this pledge, they pledge to devolve more powers to Scotland if Scots reject independence. So you can see there it says the vow. It sounds almost like a wedding vow in a way. And it's been signed, of course, by Prime Minister David Cameron from the Tory party, Ed Miliband from the Labour Party, and Nick Clegg from the Liberal Democrats. Now, just to quote one of the parts of this pledge, it says that people want to see change. A no vote will deliver faster, safer, and better change than separation. But there's a lot of emotion in both the Scottish press and, of course, the British press as well. Let's take a look at The Guardian today. They have this poll. It's very interesting. It says that the prospect of separation from Scotland is stirring a feeling of sadness in England and Wales. And you can see here the results of that poll. A clear majority of 56% of the English and the Welsh say they would be saddened by a divorce from Scotland, but it's a very different story for the Scottish. Yeah. Only 40% of Scots say they would feel sad about separating from England. So quite different emotions.
And
there.
Wales.
And Wales, exactly. Now, The Independent points out that tensions are running quite high in Scotland ahead of this referendum. You can see here, it says that Scottish police are actually preparing for the possibility of significant protests in the wake of that referendum, including the possibility of rioting. So you can see here in The Independent that they are putting in place emergency procedures in case any of that happens.
Emotions running very high on both sides, of course. And that includes outside of the UK as well, doesn't it?
That's right. The Wall Street Journal, takes a look at what's happening in the United States, where, of course, a lot of people have Scottish ancestry. You can see that ties to Scotland bring the debate to U.S. shores. About 5.4 million Americans report to have Scottish ancestry, and indeed, if you go to the United States, a lot of people will be happy to tell you about their Scottish ancestors.
I'm a 18th Scottish, that
Absolutely.
kind of thing. Yeah.
I have some Scottish blood myself. And now, these people, Americans, of course, can't vote, but they often have very strong opinions about what should happen in this referendum. Those in favor of the Yes campaign actually see parallels with U.S. history. And to quote one of the people in this article, it says, "This is a nation going for self-determination with the ability to use its natural resources to benefit its own people. If that isn't the American way, well, I don't know what is."
I don't know how much that might sway voters in Scotland, but very nice emotion coming out there in the US press all the same. We're going to move back to the British press now. Papers continue to focus on the British hostage, Alan Henning, being held by the Islamic State organisation.
That's right. Now, the Islamic State organisation threatened to kill him in that latest video that was released where they beheaded another Briton, David Haines. You can see here on the front page of The Independent this incredible article. It's saying that Al-Qaeda tried to stop the kidnapping of Alan Henning. Now, according to The Independent, Al-Qaeda appealed to the Islamic State group to release him, saying that he was an innocent aid worker who was genuinely trying to help suffering Muslims, and his abduction was wrong under Islamic law. So this is a pretty incredible article that shows just how shocking ISIS is to a lot of Muslims.
Even other extremists, yeah. Well, Ashok Al-Assad focusing on a hashtag that's trending in Egypt.
That's right. This is the Pan-Arab paper that's based in London. Now, this hashtag is hashtag better off than in Syria or Iraq. So this is trending in Egypt. It's basically used by internet users as a way to make light of the current situation in Egypt, so power cuts, economic troubles, political turbulence, etc. Basically, they're saying it could be worse than other countries.
That's not saying much, really.
Exactly. They could be aiming higher, according to this article. Now, an anchor woman in Egypt recently lashed out against those using this hashtag, calling them lazy and subversive. But this editorial in Ashok Al-Assad actually is critical of this anchor woman, calling her nationalistic, saying, you know, sure, Egyptians should be aiming higher, but this is political satire, and humor isn't subversive.
Okay, well, let's move on to the Mediterranean. Lots of people talking about these migrant ships that reportedly sank in the Mediterranean over the last week.
That's right. This is a very sad article in the Daily Beast that goes into details about one of those ships in particular that was carrying reportedly 500 migrants, especially from Egypt and the Palestinian territories. You can read about it in the Daily Beast. What's terrible about this story, allegedly, is that human traffickers sank the ship after the passengers refused to board another ship. It's a very tragic story you can read here in the Daily Beast.
Okay, lots of very sad details there, like you say. Thanks very much, Flo Villamino, art press reviewer there. Do stay with us, short break, then we'll be back with plenty more news here on France 24.